Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. How's everyone going? Just fresh back from the Ultimate 48 Hour Author, the 8th retreat, and I'm feeling quite fuzzy in the head because it always takes me a couple of days when I finish a retreat to actually come back to myself. And went to bed at 9 p.m. last night, which is 3 hours earlier than my normal time that I go to bed, and got up at about 7:30. So I've had a long sleep, but when they say what they say, when you sleep a lot more, you want to sleep even more. So I think I'll be having another nap a bit later. Just want to make sure you guys can see the PowerPoint, obviously just the background of what we're using, and you can hear me. I'm coming through to your end. So we've got some others coming through as this is happening. Chris or Roz, you guys are on the call. Can you type in the question box if you can hear me or see me? Well, obviously you can't see me, but you can see the presentation. Just need to know in case there is. I'm just wondering. Okay, I'm not getting any responses, so I don't know what that means. If you guys know how to use the questions box, okay, good. All right, I'm getting a smiley face now. All right, thanks, Chris. Just wanted to make sure I'm not talking to myself, and then halfway through, it's like, oh my God. So guys, for those of you that are new, I'm Natasha Denman. I know it says Donna Brown. Donna and I share this account, and oh, you're driving. Chris is driving. Oh, well, like perfect time. It's like being on the radio and driving along, and I'm your person on the other end. It's almost become a bit like that, a bit of a little podcast or a radio show on Mondays at 9 a.m. with Nat, all that sort of stuff. Awesome. So the way we do this, for those that are new, we're just going to go with a brief overview of how for the people who are coming into the group, how to most effectively use it. I always kind of do a different spiel every week. Maybe that is also actually a good thing for those that are regular in our group, to learn different insights and different ways of best utilizing the group. And then we're going to go through any random questions, and like really just open floor to chit chat about what's going on. I'll share a little bit about the transformations and the ups and downs that were happening over the weekend. And I think that's very relevant when someone's doing something brand new, like, say, taking that leap to write their first book. It can be very scary. And I just see them, just freak out in all sorts of ways, but then also achieve breakthroughs and breakdowns and all of that sort of stuff throughout the process, which is actually very interesting to observe. And after doing so many myself, it's the same patterns all of the time. And us as human beings, I believe we have those same patterns that we elicit. And when you start picking it up, you know exactly what the other person is doing. Good morning, Adair. I can see you here, so you obviously can hear me as well. All right, so the group, well, we're talking about social media over the weekend in one of our educational segments, and we very much were talking about the power of groups. And the best way I could describe it being, oh no, I'm not periscoping. Sorry, dear. Actually, I'm probably not really done up to periscope because I've kind of just got out of bed about 15, 20 minutes ago. I laugh out loud, she's saying. I totally forgot. My head is a bit fuzzy after retreat. So next week for sure, I'll do Periscope next week. Okay, for those of you that don't know what Periscope is, it's a live broadcasting social media that we actually ran the coffee chat through a couple of weeks ago at the same time while being on GoToWebinar. So you guys can actually physically see me talking and delivering it. But that totally, yeah, my head's a little bit fuzzy this morning, so we'll do it next week. And if you want to join on next week, the way you would is through your Twitter account. So Periscope is connected to Twitter, and you then look me up, follow me under Natasha Denman, all put together. And then you can also watch me broadcast throughout the week. I'm pretty much doing now at least 3 or 4 broadcasts a week. And over the weekend, I was doing a lot more. All right, so back to the group. So the group aspect, why a group's so good on social media and especially Facebook, is because they have that two-way conversation. You're able to talk to people back and forward, and different people can post as themselves. Within a group, you cannot post as a business page. So by posting as yourself, you actually tend to you don't just tend to build uh, your profile, but yeah, people get to know you for who you are. So it's between each other that you're having a conversation rather than a fan page where the conversation is a little bit one-sided and it's always the business. So say my ultimate 48-hour author fan page, like every time I post it's ultimate 48-hour author, every time someone comments to that, when I respond it's ultimate 48-hour author. So they're really not attaching a person to the brand. Now sometimes you don't want that to happen because you just want to keep everything separate. But for those of us who are coaches and people that represent their business and want to build that trust to build their business, then being a person like a group such as this and posting on there, being seen and your name popping up and adding value, then certainly that's the fastest way you are going to reach out and actually go, oh, okay, this person, like Adair, for example, great. I've seen her name pop up lots of times. She says really cool things. So I'll follow her or connect with her further. Whereas when you're a business page, there's really no one to really connect with. Like, yes, people can go and send them a message, but they don't. It feels really disconnected. So I guess the point I wanted to make this morning, turn up to all of the different days. Share. You don't have to be there 7 days a week, but 4 or 5 days a week. Go. Follow the things. They guide you as to what to post and add value to people. And as your name is popping up, and popping up a lot more, then people start to recognize you and you become a bit of a regular, because I actually feel like the group is like my virtual lounge room. Throughout the day they'll pop in and out of. You know how we always walk through our lounge room many times through the day in a house. That's what I think of it. And even sometimes in the evening, rather than watching TV, I'll go interact or add value or whatever. I'm not on social media 24/7. Please don't think that. It's usually this time in the morning and then probably later in the evening. I might check in halfway through the day if there's anything or anyone I want to respond to, because fast responses are appreciated and generally will drive business to you a lot faster. And same as like people quoting you. People who quote you, if they take 2 weeks, well, they've lost my business. I'll only have an attention span to wait for a quote 24 to 48 hours. That's how I operate. And that's what I do for my clients. If they want a quote, I get back to them straight away. So, so that's what you need to treat social media as. Is also a place where people generally are wanting that more instant response. It doesn't have to be instantly in 5 minutes, but if you can do it in half a day or a day, then that will be appreciated. Awesome. So that was my little spiel on the group, because I just think it's best to share a little insight around social media and how to use the groups and why they're so powerful. Other times I might talk about the theme days. Other times, the importance of what kind of value, what's valuable to people, and things like that. So I'll just do that each week. All right, let's have a look here. Yes. All right. So Lorraine is one of our people on the call today, and Lorraine actually has got a group of her own, and it's called Baby Boomer Business Owners. So if you are a baby boomer business owner, that's a really cool group to hang out in, and that's, I guess, even further niched from, say, our group being Ultimate Business Support, which is more general. I find like also it's really good to hang out in niched groups such as that one. So yeah, just some of those things to remember. You shouldn't just be a part of one group. I mean, yes, have your 2 or 3 that are your favorites, but then pop in and out of some others. So I probably have 5 to 7 that I go to. So that's pretty much what I would suggest that you do. And Lorraine, by the way, you're on the call, and Kit, actually, guys, check out the power of this. I'll tell you, because this has actually just happened. The Lorraine started her group about, was it 2 months ago? I think you started 2 months ago. And a person there went in and they asked about writing a book. And Lorraine, being one of my authors who did the February retreat this year, she said, oh, you should so speak to Natasha. I did her Ultimate 48 Hour Author retreat. I was overseas. I had just come back home. No, actually, I set up the appointment with the person she recommended me to from overseas. I got home. It was a few days before our price increase in July 1. And I said, look, let's talk ASAP because it's good if you really want to do this, get in before the price increase. And we chatted. She took the leap. She became an author, and just the other day, um, yesterday, completed her retreat. Now, that came from one comment in a group, someone else knowing me and obviously trusting me. They've got the trust and all that. That was the quickest referral because this other person, the person who became an author, she didn't know me from a bar of soap. Neither did she know Lorraine that much. So, I reward my authors by an affiliate incentive if they do refer to me. So, Lorraine, you will be getting your incentive. I'll be contacting you in the next half a day or whatever to organize what you want to do. So, just to let you know how the powerful that can be, and that was a group interaction, a referral, and an awesome little way to yeah, I'm really grateful, and I'm obviously reward the people who've worked with me as being part of my extended team, if you like, my extended marketing team. So think about it. Maybe that's actually something to consider. Are there clients that you're working with or have worked with you, that if they did send people your way because you solve a specific problem, could you reward them in some way? It doesn't have to be monetary. For us, we do reward monetary a significant amount because what that does, it saves us a lot of money we would spend to market and get those people into our retreats. So to me, it's worthwhile to pay that out to someone who's in my inner circle than to pay it out to Facebook advertising or things like that. Certainly, we don't stop marketing the other ways, but it just halves of what we need to spend normally to get a person to a retreat because there's a whole process, there's a whole trust building time frame that this occurs to. So, is there some way you could reward people who do refer word of mouth to you with certain gifts or a present or something, a surprise that you can send them? Doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg or be significant. It just needs to say thank you and to continue that building the relationship with that person, so that if they did that for you once and you were really lovely in the way you said thank you, then do you think they'll refer to you again? Like, of course they'll refer to you and continue because they'll feel appreciated. So I guess that was totally random. I wasn't even planning to talk about that, but Lorraine's name popped up and I connected it because of obviously it was a successful way and coming through a group. So I trust you found that valuable. So think about that one. As I'm talking, guys, please post your questions or comments because there's quite a lot of you here on the call, and I'm probably thinking, oh, they're just like Chris driving along and listening to this radio show where I'm just talking about all sorts of things that are just happening currently, I guess, in my life and my business. All right, the second thing I wanted to talk about was this the fear and the mindset and the transformation as I observed it unfold over the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Retreat this weekend. From the Friday of not being sure what was going to happen to you've lost me. Has everyone else got me? Can other people tell me if I'm still coming through? Because one person has said they've lost me. It could be their internet, but then again, it could be mine. Okay, Adair says she can hear me. So Anna, you probably it was internet at your end. Everyone else has said they can hear me. Okay, so yeah, so they come in on the Friday and then it's like they go through their first recording hour because if you guys don't know, we speak out the books at the retreats, and usually the first recording hour is totally wonky, like especially if they haven't practiced, because a lot of the time people don't get a chance to practice beforehand, and they come and they're getting thrown in the deep end and they go off and hey, go speak out your first couple of chapters in that hour, and they'll come back and go, oh, I don't know if I can do this and all this sort of stuff. And I know that's the response that will come back after that first hour. It's happened time and time again. So we give them a bit of coaching and mentoring and all that sort of stuff. And then they go into the second hour, later on in the evening, and it's a bit better. And by the Saturday morning, They're down with the program, and they're going through the different stages, and different things come up for people at different times. But it's just interesting sometimes to watch the self sabotage. So, couple of things that have happened in the past, like, people will fail to bring certain notes, or one person in the past also brought in a printer that wasn't working properly, and she was focusing her attention on that rather than using the precious time and the very limited time we have at the retreats to do everything we need to do. And that's just avoidance patterns and self-sabotaging, not to get the projects completed, or to find reasons why you can't. And I always call people on it. I said, "Are you sure that let go of this and just focus on getting the content out around your book?" And those are the fears that could cause those avoidance patterns. And the fears are the fear of standing out, the fear of I'm not good enough. I had a couple of girls, exactly the same problem. They were next door to each other with their rooms, but the same problem. It's like, why am I? How am I good enough to share this information? I mean, who says that this information is any good? Or who am I to write a book on this topic? And I said to them, look, I said, everyone had to start somewhere. Everyone had to put their idea and system forward, and say it the way it is. And some people love it, and some people don't. So it doesn't matter. I said, you just need to say what you feel feels good in your heart, what you want to teach people, and therefore just trust that just being yourself will bring people in. Um, I've got a question here. Chris is saying, "Do you think it's a must to have an email list on top of a group? I've just started my group and don't want to do too much too soon." Okay. So email list as in your database, because I consider a group obviously just an extension of your community, but your database and your email lists would be people who you regularly communicate with. Because yes, you can regularly communicate for people in a group, but you can't really reach out to them on a personal level the way you can in an email, because an email will only reach one person. Obviously, you can send out your whole list, but on a group, you kind of have to, if you're going to put up an offer or have a call to action, you're having a call to action in front of everyone. So a database is actually your first and foremost thing you should be compiling and having and continuing to market to, and the group should just be a complement to that database. So when I started my database, guys, over 5 years ago, I basically just had a collection of 60 to 80 names, and they were family, friends, colleagues. And I basically announced what I was going to do, and then said I would be sending out regular newsletters and things like that, uh, so that they it got value, and if they didn't get value, that they could reply to me and unsubscribe, so that I wouldn't be sort of spamming them after that. So yeah, cool. Chris is just saying thank you. Have to get that sorted. Yep. Cool. That just broke my state. We were talking about something else, and then of course, if any question comes up, I'll always look at it to address that, to make sure I answer all of your questions. But yeah, so watch out. I guess the key insight from what I was saying before, and it doesn't have to be just about writing books. It's any time you need to get you're faced with stepping outside of your comfort zone. Watch out, for any avoidance patterns or anything that's breaking down, standing in your way, stopping you from doing something, because it's generally you're bringing it about yourself. You're bringing it about because truly deep down, you're so shit scared of doing the work, and really getting out there. And the biggest thing is like, am I good enough? Am I going to stand out? Am I going to be ridiculed if I put this out there? So that's the stuff that I want you to make sure that you are aware of day to day, because it happens day to day. It's not just somewhere where we're going, like for the retreat. That's a big event that happens for people. Yeah, dear, I think it was again your internet. If I'm dropping it out, I'm thinking it's maybe your internet, because unless someone else types it in. Then it's probably just at your end for a minute. So maybe give it like, sort of 30 seconds to a minute to see how it happens. Okay, so yeah, so watch out those patterns. Watch out little things putting blocks in your way, because you know what? That's your little critter brain that's going, you're going to die if you do this. So I better, I'm going to bring about things in front of you to keep you safe. Because if the little things pop up where it's distracting you and doing those rather than stepping out of your comfort zone, that's keeping you safe, rather than when you go, nah, I'm feeling sick, but I'm going to do it anyway. Then you break through and you evolve to that next stage. And it truly is about evolution. We evolve at every stage in every year. I think monthly I change as a person in business, because I've just gotten used to the fact of you have to be uncomfortable. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable in business, because if you want to grow, you have to keep breaking the mold of the same old, and keep, especially as an entrepreneur, you have to keep innovative, be innovative. Chris is just saying, I love how you set the date and then organize it. I'm going to challenge myself this month. Yeah, so um, another way, actually, that's a great point, Chris, is that set the date on something, start with that end in mind. Like, I have dates of things set all the way to the end of 2016. So I'm not running my business ad hoc as I was in the first 12 to 18 months, because that's the thing that you kind of realize after a little while. It's going, well, you can't just like do things. Oh, I need to do this marketing. Oh, I better do something more here. If you have a more organized plan, yes, you can add on to that plan. So have it organized to 70%. So there is some flexibility, to do extra things. Don't overload yourself and then think, oh, I'd really wanted to do this, but I can't. So fill your calendar up 70%, but allow for some flexibility of extra things that can come into it. But setting dates on achieving something, it's really fantastic, because you just work backwards of all of the things that you need to do leading up to that date. And that commitment. So at the moment we've been talking, we just got a quote to run our retreat in Bali in August next year, and our author retreat. And I was saying to the guys in the weekend, look, I haven't really committed to doing it yet. I said, I think I need to just go home, reset, have a rest for a couple of days. And then obviously I've got a lot of things coming up over the next 3 months to tie up this year, as well as run the last retreat in November. But if I was going to do Bali in August next year, I have to start from now. It's a year, 12 months in the making. You can't just promote it in May and go, oh, come to Bali in August. People generally, something like this, they would want to plan 9 to 12 months ahead. And certainly there will be people that will jump on last minute. You guys, I didn't even tell you, there was a guy that jumped on 20 hours before our retreat, this one that just finished. On Thursday, he was prepared at 3 o'clock, and he was at retreat by 1 o'clock the following day. So that was totally ridiculous. I totally thought, you're crazy. Like, there's no time to prepare. There's usually 10 hours of prep work. But this guy actually finished the most work out of everyone at the retreat. Out of the 8 people, he finished everything. He was so well centered, contained, focused, insightful. I don't know what to say. He was a machine, but in the nicest way possible. And I just have never seen something like that happen. People have come in 4, 7 days out of retreat, which I think is amazing and extraordinary as well. But 20 hours, like, got on a plane from Brisbane, flew down at 3 to 5 p.m. on the Thursday to be at retreat at midday on the Friday, and then to execute everything. And just, yeah, hats off to him. But yeah, set your dates, go work backwards from them. All right, so let's talk about events. So the last 5 minutes, we talk about what events are coming up and what's available. What are we doing? The UBS nights that are happening. So let me go to the next slide. A couple of events that I'm doing next week, Monday and Wednesday. So Melbourne and Sydney. This will be a free event. We have sold all our VIP tickets that were paid, but we're doing with Robert Curry, scale up your marketing and take your business to the next level. So he wrote the book Feed a Starving Crowd, and we'll be doing Melbourne on Monday 9 to 1 in Doncaster, and Sydney the same time in Redfern, and then we're going to stay behind with the VIPs to have lunch, and they get a copy of our books and things like that. But if you guys want to come along, I'll just put this link up in our chat box. This is going to be super awesome. He's such a humble, awesome guy. Um, we've got 50 people registered in Melbourne and about 40 in Sydney. But look, sometimes people don't rock up to free events, so we're just kind of um, taking as many bookings and just seeing what turns out. That's that one. Then UBS Melbourne. So as we have been saying over the weeks, UBS Melbourne is supporting the Australia's largest networking event. So that one is we're just basically supporting, and there's supporting a charity, Bernardo's. So that will be instead of our normal UBS Melbourne evening. Now, UBS Sydney is 25th of August, and I'm just going to see, guys, if the girls have set them up in our group. So I'm just going to show you something in the group over here. Let me see. Let me just go here and go into events. All right. Yep, UBS Adelaide is set up. So you can so it must be this Thursday at 7 p.m. And then this is the one for Melbourne, but actually every capital city has one near them that's happening at the same time on the same date. So make sure you look up that link and find the spot that's for your city, and you can go to the event to that particular. It's like a breakfast, 8:30 to 10:30. I won't be in Melbourne. Stuart will be hosting it because I'll be off to Newcastle. All right, what other couple of things got about UBS Sydney is 25th of August. Okay, so Samantha Chambers, she hasn't put it up there as yet, but please get in touch with her if you're from Sydney and you want to go to that one. The last couple of tickets left for the VIP Marketing Day at our brand new house. 26 days to go till we're moving. And we just counted this morning because I've been away so much. I lost count. I was counting every day, and then I was like totally distracted. So we're doing a big VIP Marketing Day. We sold 8 spots. We've got 2 spots left. If you want to come to that, just PM me. We're going to be setting up your annual calendar and giving you one of these whiteboards and giving you lunch and all those nibblies and all that sort of stuff. That happens fully provided for and catered. So let me just see if there's any more questions and things like that. Okay, nothing there. What am I going to leave you with? What little thoughts or but basically I say, all right, this is it. Every time you spend or invest some time on a call, I'm sure I've said a million and one things in the last half an hour because I know I'll talk very, very fast. Um, Go and take one thing I said and put it into action. That's the one thing that I think, oh, maybe as we're finishing up in the last 2 minutes, why don't you give me some feedback and tell me what was a little insight or aha moment or an action even? Insight, aha, or an action that you heard this morning that you go, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Or, hey, the stuff that you spoke about self sabotage or setting the date or, planning my year in advance. What else did I say? Like, I've said probably a lot of things. Email list, the database, about the groups, about the Facebook kind of stuff, and how referrals and incentives. Gosh, we talked about stacks of stuff this morning now that I'm reflecting back myself. So, what is that maybe for you? And how will you what action are you going to take as a result of what you heard? Because sometimes I mean, I don't nowadays, I don't waste time going on a call or listening to something that will be educational or add to my business growth without then going, okay, that was cool, now I'm going to try that straight away. Because this year earlier I was at the National Speakers Convention. It went for 4 days, and I was listening to what different speakers and tips they give you about being a speaker. And on the last day was my workshop. And because I learned so many new cool things those previous 3 days, I thought, oh my God, I need to change my PowerPoint. I need to change a few things. I want to try all these new things. They're so cool. I want to try it straight away. I've got an opportunity right here, right now. I implemented 6 new things I learned from those previous 3 days, went to the organizer, got them to change my PowerPoint and delivered and uh, and did those new things, and it was really cool because then what that got me onto doing just by simply doing it once, then it started becoming a habit into each one of my following um, events and presentations. Terry's just said, promoting my health and fitness Bali retreat May 2016, starting now. Perfect, awesome, and you have to start now, Terry, because people need to organize their how they're going to take the leave to pre-plan, and you know what, you want to give them something to look forward to. Lorraine says how fortunate the authors are to have you with the in their life with the life coaching background. Yeah, thank you, Lorraine. Chris says the triggers of self sabotage. I have finally started my group by taking the leap. I'm doing free calls initially and just working it out as I go. Your info today has pushed me to get my paid packages organized this week. Thank you for the inspiration. You're welcome. You're welcome also, Cherry. Fantastic, guys. Well, I have got a 9:30 call, and I never like to be late to call anybody. So I have to wish you farewell. Hope to see you at one of the events in real life soon. We'll be doing this again next week. And well, I probably won't be on next week. It'll be Stuart because I've just seen my diary, and that's the 17th of August, 9 to 1, that we're doing the scale up event. So you'll catch Stuart. Ciao for now, Adair says. I'll see you on the Facebook wave lines. All right, talk soon.